I'm walking on sunshine. Wow. Walking on sunshine. Wow. And it sort of feels good. Hey. All right now. And it sort of feels good. Hey. Don't give me a microphone as I can't sing. But I won't stop. I'm so sorry for this intro. Please forgive me. Hey everyone, it's Madison, the Sidereal Maven, and today we're going to be talking all about the sun and your birth charts. So I hope you're ready. So for most people, their first encounter with astrology is usually through a sun sign horoscope. And you can find these in newspapers, in magazines, they're in apps, articles, blogs, yada yada yada. If you've read your horoscope, it was probably a sun sign horoscope. The reason for this is because most people know what their sun sign is, if nothing else. And the reason it's so easy to know what someone's sun sign is because the sun only changes signs like once a month. And so if you know what day you were born, you can generally discern what someone's sun sign is unless they were born on the day that the sign changes, and then you're going to want to look up their exact chart. Versus like every other planet in astrology is moving at a different time frame every single year. So you're not going to want to write someone's Venus horoscope because it's just not practical. This is why people focus on the sun sign when writing generalized horoscopes. And it's also so that they can sell you a Libra constellation mug and an Aries necklace and a Sagittarius bracelet or t-shirt or whatever it is else they're trying to sell you. But the sun in your birth chart is actually... Why is my cat like this? You can't see it, but he is climbing on my filming table. Get down! Get down! This is Milo. He's my baby. And he's very clingy. Go over here, okay. What was I saying? Anyway, when you are reading these sun sign horoscopes, you will often be told that the sun represents your personality, but this is another generalization that is kind of untrue. And the reality is that the designation of personality is kind of made up of your entire chart. But if I were to assign it to one placement, it would actually be your ascendant sign, because your ascendant sign is how you're choosing to show up in the world and present yourself to other people. It's how you want to be seen, the actions you take, the things that happen to you, and the way that you talk, and the way that you walk, and the way that you dress, and all of that good stuff. But the sun is really more about your mind and your consciousness, the way that you think, the way that you perceive things, the way that you problem solve. And it's also like the things that you're interested in, the things that capture your attention and make you stop and focus on that thing. And also the things that you don't give any attention to because it just like doesn't capture your interest. So when you are telling someone your sun sign, what you are really telling them is, what is my strategy for going about life? And if you are a Gemini sun, you're taking a more intellectual and curious approach to life. And if you're a Virgo, you're taking a more studious and pragmatic approach to your problem solving. And the sun can also tell you how you tend to be in leadership positions. For example, a Leo sun does not hesitate to step up and be in a leadership position. They feel very comfortable. They feel like this is where they shine and where they do their best. A Capricorn sun is a lot more reluctant to step up into a leadership position, but they are really freaking good at it when they allow themselves to be put in that position. But they will resist because they're like, I don't want the responsibility, because they understand the responsibility and they're like, ooh, I don't know about that. So, sun sign can be really important and effective learning tool when you are in working environments, when you have coworkers, when you're doing like group projects with other students, or if you're going on trips with other people and you have to organize things. you're gonna want to know what someone's sun sign is. And it'd also be good for partnerships, of course, but in partnerships, you're gonna wanna look at Venus and you're gonna wanna look at Mars. But in working environments, sun sign is key. So, if you are an Aries sun, then you are someone who is focused on finding the most authentic expression of your willpower, which is to say that you are anti-conformist. You want to walk to the beat of your own drum, do things your own way, and you are probably someone that moves at a faster pace than other people. You may be someone that wants to be first in line, the first to do something your own way, the first to pioneer some new path, and you are someone who solves problems by using your strength, your intellect, and your leadership abilities. So when you have a problem in front of you, you're like, how can I use force to push my way through this? How can I strategize the best way through the maze of life? And how can I lead other people by setting an example that is worth following? So this is kind of complicated with Aries suns because a lot of them are hyper independent and they don't want to depend on other people. And so they want to kind of like do everything themselves. And this can kind of make it seem like they're not a team player, but really what they need is to be on a team of people that recognize their unique talents and allow them to pursue those talents in a way that feels good to them. And because they are often the first person to do something a certain way or the first person to do something period, they end up having followers because they like forge a path where one did not exist before. And then people can follow in their footsteps. And this is how they become leaders, even if they're not trying to be one necessarily. I will say, Aries sun, if you were pre-Saturn return, you kind of have no business being in leadership positions, but you may get forced into them anyway due to circumstances in your life. And if you are someone who isn't being put in a leadership position, but you're like trying to stake your claim as one, and you are receiving constant pushback, listen to the pushback, calm down, let yourself grow up and get experience. Because the reality is that leadership is a lot of responsibility, and if you're not aware of that yet, you can lead people right into a ditch, so be careful. The other thing I will say is that Aries suns are very much protectors of the underdog. They want to protect the vulnerable, and they can be very defensive when they see like disadvantaged people being taken advantage of. And it's because there was a point in time when Aries sun felt very small and very vulnerable and like they should have been protected, and maybe they didn't receive the protection that they needed in that moment. And so Aries sun can be the first person to step up and protect someone that is going through a moment of weakness. So that is what I've got for Aries sun. If you are a Taurus sun, then you are someone who is focused on building communities of like-minded people and fostering a sense of belonging, which is to say you are a team player and you want to be in rooms with people that share your values, your beliefs, your philosophies of life, and who share the same interests as you. Whether this is your community, your friends, your coworkers, it's important for you to have like a core set of values that you all agree with in order for you to feel safe engaging and leading a group of people. So Taurus sun solves problems by leveraging shared values, saying, oh, well, we all really love reading, so we're gonna come together and start a book club. Or we all really love football, so we're gonna start a fantasy football team. Or we're gonna go start our own football team. And they also focus on highlighting commonalities. And so if Taurus is in a situation where a couple people in their group are beefing, they're gonna say, hey, listen, we all are here for the same reason because we like the same things and we want the same things. So how can we work together to make that happen? And they're also gonna like throwing out a good, well-timed joke to kind of ease tensions and make people focus on what really matters. Taurus sun is also interested in opportunities that allow them to share themselves artistically, and the type of artistic thing that they are interested in will differ depending on where their Venus is in their chart, For the most part, there's some sort of artistic project that they really, really love, and they want to collaborate with other people to focus on that project. For example, if you have a Taurus that is really into fashion, maybe they're great at design, but they're not so good at sewing. They want to collaborate with someone who can bring their designs to life. And maybe they want to take it further and they want to do a fashion show. Well, now they're going to go find other people that want to do a fashion show that are going to provide them with the venue and catering and whatever else they're going to need to make this happen. So if you're ever someone who's trying to plan a party, get a Taurus on your side. If you are someone who is planning an art exhibition, you want Taurus. And really, even if you're like getting a sporting event together, like Taurus is your girl, your guy, your pal. And that's pretty much what I have for Taurus. If you are a Gemini sun, then you are someone who is focused on gathering information, stories, and opinions. And this is often a placement that you see very common in journalists, newscasters, podcasters, and really any other media professional, salesman even. And it's because Gemini likes to talk. They want to know things. They want to know everything about everybody, everywhere. And that curiosity is almost never satisfied. And this is what makes Gemini so interesting, is because they're always going around through different social circles and talking to all different kinds of people and learning all sorts of different things just by constantly putting themselves out there. Gemini sun is also most likely to have a special interest that they are focused on, and they want to dive deep into whatever that is. But that special interest is only going to last like a couple of months before they flip to a new one. And then they flip to a new one, and then a new one, and then another one. And this is actually perfectly normal and healthy for Gemini sun. And if you are Gemini sun, you will receive pushback on this, and you will have people tell you to commit to the bit already, to figure your life out, to pick one thing and just stick with it. But your curiosity and your ability to keep going from thing to thing is actually your superpower. So follow that through, because it will take you somewhere else that you want to go. You just don't know where it is yet. So Gemini sun solves problems by conducting interviews, doing research, and consulting with the people. It's not enough for them to just be told how to do something. They want to go figure it out for themselves, and they want to talk to other people who have done that thing before. They want to read a book about it. They want to listen to the podcast, watch the documentary, and they can often get stuck in this research period because they enjoy it so much that they never move on to actually doing the thing. So that is the pitfall of this sign. Get out of research mode and move on to actually doing it. You may feel like, oh, I just don't know enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not knowledgeable enough. You're lying to yourself, Gemini. You can do it, okay? And Gemini is interested in opportunities to make new connections, to learn something new, and to share their story with others. So this is definitely the sign that likes to go to parties, that likes to go to the networking events, that likes to pick like a random new event to go to, even if they don't know anyone. They're just gonna show up and be themselves and meet new people. And they're very good at putting themselves out there. And this is why they're so great in the media. So yes, that is what I got for my lovely Gemini suns. If you are a Cancer sun, then you are someone who is focused on attuning yourself to your body and your environment, which is to say that you care a lot about your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, and the health of everyone around you and of your literal physical environment, like the land that you live on, your home, your workplace, wherever it is you are. You care about the health of that thing, about maintaining that thing, keeping it clean, keeping it organized, keeping it running as best as it can. And you're also focused on developing emotional connections with other people. And this is what is going to make you feel safe and comforted. And it is also what makes you an effective leader of others, is because you're always paying attention to the way other people feel, about how they respond to different decisions that are being made, and the consequences of taking one action or another on their physical being. So Cancer sun solves problems by considering their own personal needs, the needs of their heart, mind, body, and of everyone else around them, and saying, are these needs met? Are they being met in the best way that they can be met? And if not, how can we improve the function of everything by streamlining these needs in a way that is effective? Something else about Cancer Suns is they are interested in opportunities to nurture themselves and others. And so this is why Cancer Sun often gets the reputation of being a caregiver. And this is because putting in the effort to nurture something and the process of watching something grow a little bit and a little bit and a little bit every day until it eventually blooms and blossoms is something that is so satisfying to Cancer, which is why these are the people who like to plant gardens, they like to have pets, they like to take care of children. And even if they're like a single, solo, lady, man, non-binary person, they are going to put themselves in an environment where they can nurture the growth of something. Even if it's just like the company that they work for. If you're a corporate girly, like you're thinking, how can I make everyone feel so in sync that our success is inevitable? And how can I keep that going, keep it growing, keep it blooming? And so Cancer Sun is the first person to recognize inefficiencies in workplaces, in work environments, and they are the first person to notice if something is off with someone that they work with. They're the person who is like, hey, have you eaten enough today? Have you got enough sleep? Do you need to go on break? Are you good? Do you need something from me? What can I do for you? And how do we get everyone on the same page? So Cancer Suns, usually not the first person that people look to for leadership positions. They can often get stuck in an assistant role because they're so good at anticipating and meeting people's needs. But this is really a disservice in misogyny because they are excellent leaders. So that's what I got for Cancer Sun. If you are a Leo Sun, then you are someone who is focused on maintaining a solid, healthy sense of self, which is to say that you spend a lot of time getting to know who you are, what you like, what you want, and what you plan to do with your life. And you also are really deeply in tune with your own inner child, and your relationship to your inner child just may be the most important relationship in your life ever, because that is who is calling the shots for you, okay? And this is kind of a radical thing to do in our society, my Leo Suns, because we live in a world where we are not encouraged to know who we are, what we like, what we think, what our opinions are, and instead we're encouraged just to conform to the dominant culture. And so Leo is really like actively pushing against this just by existing. Leo is also a sign that has a complicated relationship to authority figures in their lives, usually because they have a very strong dominant authority figure, which may be their father, their mother, some other parental guardian, a teacher, a boss. There is usually some dominant authority figure in their life that is trying to kind of move them around on a chessboard. And it kind of leads to Leo feeling like they're simply an extension of that authority figure. And so a Leo Sun's life mission is really to learn how to be their own authority figure and to take control of their own sense of self and their own life and live it in accordance to their values and what they want and what they like, instead of what they've been told to want and like and be. So for that reason, Leo Suns are usually super unique. They want to march to the beat of their own drum, do things their own way. They have to put their like own unique flair or spin on everything that they do. And it's also why they can be very like loud and rambunctious, and other people can be kind of intimidated by how confident they are in who they are as a person. But really, this is a survival mechanism against these authority figures that have tried to push them around. So Leo Sun is interested in opportunities to perform their unique skill sets, whether it's singing, dancing, maybe they're really good at a sport, maybe they're really good at a special craft, and they want to express their interests. They want to entertain others in the process, and they want to do anything that feels fun and exciting. They can be very easily bored, and they need some flash, they need some glam, they need some excitement in their life. Otherwise, they are just straight up not interested. Leo Suns also, again, because they are doing all of this work to be their own authority figure, it makes them excellent leaders of other people, assuming that they're allowing their underlings or the people that they're leading to be themselves as well, instead of trying to make them all like Leo. If you're a Virgo sun, then you are someone who is focused on creating a deep understanding of your environment and the way that the world works, which is why the sun sign often gets a reputation of being a bit of a scientist or an environmentalist, is because it is not enough for you to just kind of like watch a plant grow and be amazed by it. You want to take the plant apart and understand what is making it grow. Why does this amount of sunlight work on this plant but not the other one? Exactly how much water does each plant need in order to succeed? The Virgos are picking it apart and understanding the details and getting to the root of things in order to create efficiency. So if you are trying to make the most out of your garden, you want Virgo on your side. That being said, Virgo is definitely a sun sign that tends to zero in and focus on problems no matter where they are. And unfortunately, sometimes they can do this to people in their life as well. It's very easy for them to be like, well, the reason you're not getting from place A to B is because you're doing this behavior. And sometimes other people don't want that feedback, Virgo. I'm so sorry. I know it's like clear as day to you, but sometimes other people just want to figure it out for themselves, and you got to let them. And your investigative, scientific skills are better put towards improving your environment, improving your workplace, improving your workflow, and improving the things in your life that you like and you enjoy, and improving like your self-care systems as well. So Virgo likes to solve problems by conducting experiments, the scientific experiments. They like to create different systems to make things flow more efficiently. For example, if you're trying to clean your room and you get overwhelmed by everything all at once, Virgo is like, okay, let's start with pick up the trash, take out the trash. Number 2, we're going to pick things up off the floor. Number 3, we're going to sweep. Like, they put things in a logical, pragmatic order that decreases the chaos and allows you to move forward with a set of steps. So anything you've ever done, anything that requires a certain set of steps in order to achieve a very specific outcome, that system of steps was created by Virgo, okay? That is what they excel at. They're also super meticulous in all of their tasks. Step 1 has a part A and a part B and some extra advice at the bottom just in case you run into this problem or to that problem. And Virgo is most interested in opportunities to nurture things, sort of like Cancer. They want to see things grow, they want to see things improve, and they also are really focused on wanting to help others with whatever problems that they have. Because the process of finding the problem and solving the problem and seeing things improve and get better is what is most satisfying to Virgo sun. And that's what I've got for Virgo sun. If you're a Libra sun, then you are someone who is focused on building community with people who share your principles and values. Now, this is different than a Taurus sun because Taurus is happy to be in a room with people who share the same interests. We both like books, like start a book club, versus the principles that Libra is founding their community on are usually just a tiny bit more serious. For example, we all have to agree that theft is wrong and we don't tolerate theft. And if you are someone who doesn't agree with that, Libra does not fuck with you, okay? And they may smile in your face if they have to work with you, or if you are in a community and they have to be around you, they'll be like, okay, but really they are not on your side, okay? You have to agree with them and their principles, or they are side-eyeing you like crazy, okay? Libra Sun is also someone who likes to solve problems by leveraging their social connections. They are someone who knows somebody, who knows somebody, who knows somebody that can help them figure out whatever problem they have. And they are also someone who is very good at persuading others to work together by using said principles. So if we all agree that theft is wrong, then we can come together to create a rule and a system where no one steals things. And this creates a safer, more efficient work environment, or whatever it is they're doing. And they are also someone who uses like rules and regulations to, again, like create a sense of safety and efficiency in whatever they're doing. So if you are someone who likes to break rules a lot, Libra probably does not fuck with you. They don't like it. They are a stickler for the rules. However, Libra is also someone who knows how to bend and shape the rules to their advantage, which can make them a little sneaky as opponents, because they will always make it seem as if they were following things to the T, but sometimes they can participate in what is called malicious compliance. So you gotta watch out for that. Libra is very intelligent, smart as a whip, and super strategic. So they're someone that you want on your side and never as your enemy. Libra Sun is someone who is interested in opportunities to bring people together, to share their ideas, and to participate in discourse and debates. Like, these are the debate kids. They enjoy arguing. And they will say that they don't, but they're like so good at it that I don't believe them for a second. These are the people that like to get in the internet conversation and go through the discourse and really pick out who are you and what do you think and why do you think that way and where are you coming from with this, and refine their ideas so you can get down to the meat of something super interesting and cool. So similar to Gemini, they love to talk, they love to gossip, they love to interview, but they are more focused on people's principles and people's politics and the way that they think the world should run and work, versus Gemini is just here to hear a good story. So that's what I've got for Libra Sun. If you are a Scorpio Sun, then you are someone who is focused on exploring your emotional depths and maintaining a sense of emotional autonomy, which is to say you are someone who feels how you feel, and you are not going to be talked out of your feelings or told that your feelings are wrong or stupid or disapproved of. Instead, you're just like, it is what it is, take it or leave it. And you really embrace your unique artistic expression, your unique emotional expression, and your unique way of going about the world. There's always something about Scorpio that is a little offbeat, a little different, and the more they embrace this, the more successful they become. That being said, they are going to receive a lot of pushback for being different and for being unable or unwilling to conform to what is considered socially acceptable or desirable. That being said, Scorpio is very in tune with their own feelings. Similar to Cancer Sun, they are paying attention to their body and the way that it feels and the way that their physical body responds to certain things. And they are really diving deep into their emotions and working to kind of turn it into some sort of artistic expression. And so they are willing to like go deeper into their feelings than almost anyone else is. Like, some people just like stick their toe in the water of their feelings, and Scorpio, whoosh, like completely dives in. They're unafraid of their feelings, and this is what makes them so cool and what makes them such great artists. And Scorpio Sun solves problems by prioritizing these emotional differences, looking beneath the surface of things, and having strong boundaries with other people. So Scorpio can really be drawn into like unsolved mysteries or like true crime, or just like therapy and psychology and these sorts of things, because they want to know like how people's minds work and what drives them to make certain decisions, what drives them to feel the way that they feel or to act on those emotions. And they are really interested in things that are considered taboo or strange or weird, because Scorpio themselves feels taboo and strange and weird. I myself am strange and unusual. And so Scorpio often can be the sign that discovers something that hasn't been discovered before, because they are not afraid of like facing dark feelings in order to get to the gem left at the bottom. Scorpio Sun is most interested in opportunities to create emotional intimacy and to test their limitations in life. They don't like being told they can't do something. They're going to try and try and try again. And most frequently, you will see Scorpio Suns challenging the status quo. So whatever is considered popular, they often want to do the opposite thing. Whatever is considered mainstream, they're like, that's not for me. And that's not to say that they're like hipsters, but they kind of are. They want to do things their own way. And they want to explore things that haven't been explored before. And Scorpio is definitely super interested in having like those deep emotional conversations late at night and really getting to know people past the surface of who they are. It's not enough for them to be like, oh yeah, I work in communications. They're like, okay, but what happened to you as a child that made you need to communicate so effectively? Like, they want those deep, deep stories. They want to know about the emotional seeds behind things. And this is what makes them like really effective psychologists and therapists and investigators, is because they just keep digging and digging and digging, even when it seems like there's nothing else to find. They find something. So that's what I got for Sidereal Scorpio Sun. If you are a Sagittarius Sun, then you are someone who is focused on creating meaning through your lived experiences. Which is to say, it's not enough for you to just be alive, right? Like, your life needs to have some sort of higher purpose and deeper meaning. Otherwise, what is the point? Sagittarius Sun is someone who is always looking for the why behind things, the lesson to be learned in each experience, and the story that they're going to tell with each new thing that they encounter. And this is how they get the reputation of being someone who is super adventurous, who travels a lot, who is constantly putting themselves out there and trying new things, is because each new experience kind of adds to the story of their life that they are literally so excited to share and share with you. That being said, Sagittarius Suns are often people that are super spiritual, they can be super religious, and they can be super political. And sometimes it's all three together, because these three things are something that give life meaning and give purpose to your experiences and your actions and your life, really. Sagittarius Sun is also someone who pays close attention to cultural narratives. And by cultural narratives, I mean the stories that our culture tells us about who we are, why we exist in the world, and what we should be doing with our lives. So if you live in the US, for example, you've often heard about the American dream. This is an example of a cultural myth that tells us who we are and what our purpose is as Americans, or citizens of the United States, I should say. And the whole myth of Jesus and Christianity, and really any other myth that culturally we are focusing on and using to tell people who they are and why they exist in the world and what their purpose is. And the thing with Sagittarius Sun is they are eager to consume and understand these stories, but they are also the first to question them, to push back on them, to tell you that your cultural myth is wrong and doesn't make sense. And this is kind of what jumpstarts their adventures around the world, and to experience different types of people and different cultures and different religions, is because whatever cultural myth that they were given as a child just was like completely unsatisfactory to them, and they're like, there has to be more to life. There has to be more than this. I think a really great example is the Disney Princess Merida from Brave. Like, the cultural narrative she's given is that women are supposed to get married and have babies, and she's like, if I don't want to do that, what am I supposed to do with myself? Like, that whole movie is about her challenging the cultural myth of women and what their purpose is in life, and choosing a different path for herself. And so this is what Sagittarius is all about, is challenging the cultural narrative and creating a new one that is specific to them in who they are. And so Sagittarius Sun's mission is to create a personal myth for themselves. Then they want to take that myth and they want to share it with other people, and share it with other people through storytelling, and give other people the opportunity to create their own personal myth and find their own meaning in life separate from what they've been told it has to be. And this usually involves a lot of wild experimentation. They are trying the LSD. They are bungee jumping. They are the first to like get in the race car and just go. Like, they want to just find new things that expand their horizons and perceptions of the world. So Sagittarius Sun is interested in any sort of experience that is going to expand their worldview, expand their perspectives, and add to the life story that they are currently curating. So that's what I've got for Sagittarius Sun. If you are a Capricorn Sun, then you are someone who is focused on creating a sense of security and stability in your life. Whether this be financial security, whether this is housing security, whether this is just stability in your home, keeping everything efficient and running the way that you want. Your life is like a constant seeking and creating and maintaining of a secure, stable foundation that you can build upon and build upon and build upon and build upon. Because that's what Capricorn wants to do, is they want to create something that stands the test of time, that can last for the rest of their lifetime and maybe beyond. And they're also interested in like creating a legacy that future generations can build upon as well. And this is often rooted in like childhood experiences of having authority figures that lack security, that lack stability, and maybe just aren't so responsible or so resourceful with the things that they have. And so Capricorn Suns, similar to risings and similar to moons, often have to grow up a little bit faster than everyone else, because whatever authority figure they have just like was not hitting the marks for whatever reason. And so Capricorn learns, well, if I can hit the marks and I can create my stability, I don't have to worry about that, right? So one of Capricorn's secret superpowers is that they are very good at using the resources that they have on hand to solve whatever problem it is. And this often means that they may not have the resources that are considered to be required or desirable to solve that problem. They may have less than they need. They may not have the right tools, but that secret superpower is their ability to use their creativity and their resourcefulness and their pragmatism to figure out a solution anyway, to get it done anyway. Something that comes to mind is the whole idea of like struggle meals. If you ever see those going around, floating around on social media where people are like making their own cinnamon toast, or they're just melting cheese on tortilla chips. Maybe that's all they have, but they fed themselves and they got it done, right? That is kind of like the resourcefulness of Capricorn. Is it doesn't matter like how much they have or don't have. Where there is a will, there is a way, and Capricorn has a will, and they're going to find a way, all right? Something that Capricorn can kind of struggle with is they use play and pleasure as a reward for having worked hard, but then they over focus on working and then never reward themselves with the play or the pleasure that they're supposed to have at the end of it, and instead they just keep working and working and working and working. So Capricorn Suns are super prone to burnout, and they need to make a very specific point to listen to and nurture their inner child. But with Capricorn Sun, they have to have like a special sort of person around to let that inner child out. So if you're a Capricorn Sun, make a point to find your special person that you feel safe with, and make a point to spend time with them regularly so that you can let your inner child out to play, because that is what is going to keep you from burning out too quickly. Get you off the struggle bus that you don't need to be on, okay? So that's what I have for Capricorn Sun. If you are an Aquarius Sun, then you are someone who is focused on developing your own unique perspective and identity that often stands in contrast to what is considered known, true, traditional, or socially acceptable. For example, you may be told that you can only be a girl or a boy, and Aquarius is like, actually, I might be a third secret thing, and you haven't heard of it before, but I'm going to tell you all about it. And that's just an example to say that Aquarius is always looking for the third secret thing that they can be and do and embody, because they feel restricted by the laws or the traditions of our culture and by the identities that are made available to them or that are assigned to them. And instead they're like, I am so much more than what you can perceive and what you can know, and there is more to my heart and my soul and my life than you are capable of seeing and understanding. So slow down and let me tell you about it, right? So this is what makes Aquarius like one of the most rebellious signs in the zodiac, is because they are always pushing back against cultural narratives and against traditions and against things that are considered to be known and true and irrefutable. Aquarius is the person that is like, actually, y'all, what if the earth wasn't flat? What if it was round? Let's go do an experiment and find out for realsies. You know, they're the ones that are like, okay, but even though we can't see it, there could potentially be little tiny atoms that are making up every single thing in the world. Let's go invent a microscope and figure it out. Like, Aquarius is looking for the unseen, for the unknown, for the unnamed, for the feelings that we feel but don't have a name for the thoughts that we have but don't know how to articulate. Aquarius is looking for ways to bring that unseen thing out into the world and make other people aware of it. So Aquarius Sun solves problems by looking for alternative routes that may not yet exist. They solve problems by considering what may exist but may not be visible. They solve problems by challenging the status quo and challenging things that people just think can't be challenged in the first place, like gender and history and science. They're like, actually, like, maybe we don't know everything yet. Maybe there's more to discover. Maybe we should go figure it out. And so Aquarius is really interested in solving the mysteries of the world and solving the mysteries of humanity and science and mathematics. And they're also super interested in imaginative play. So they might be super into like role-playing games, like Dungeons and Dragons, things where they can take on and take off different identities and just kind of like play around with who they are at any given time. And they are, of course, always down to rebel against anything that is considered known and true, and to just do things their own little weird way. So that's all I got for Aquarius Sun. If you're a Pisces Sun, then you are someone who is focused, developing and understanding your inner emotional world and your emotional narrative. Similar to Sagittarius, you're always looking for the why behind things, the deeper meaning, the purpose. But instead of focusing on your outer physical experiences, you're focused on your inner emotional world. So Pisces Sun is deeply imaginative, deeply intuitive, and always seeking to understand, why do I feel this thing? Why do I feel it now? And what does it mean that I feel this thing? So say Pisces gets like a gut feeling. It's not just, oh, I ate something bad today. It's, ooh, the person I'm talking to said something that is wrong or isn't right. I'm picking up on something about this person that just doesn't sit right with me. And if they get like a good bubbly feeling when talking to someone, they're like, oh, this person, maybe they're my future friend. Maybe they're my future work connection. Maybe there's something about them that is going to contribute to my projects in some way in the future. They're always assigning a meaning to their feelings. They're always creating a story out of it. And so because of this, Pisces has a really rich imagination, and they're the type to like build entire narratives in their mind. They're the type of person to build like entire imaginary worlds and imaginary characters in their minds, and This makes them like really great artists, really great storytellers, and really great performers if there's anything that they're performing. And it also makes them really great psychics and mystics, is because they're not just tuned into their own feelings, they're also kind of tuned into your feelings and the feeling of the earth around them. The vibe of the room is constantly on their mind, and they're always seeking to analyze those feelings and create a story out of them. So Pisces Sun likes to solve problems by lending an empathetic ear, listening to the way that people feel, what their experiences are, what they're going through, and also consulting with their intuition and what feels right for them. They are not the most logical or reasonable people sometimes because of this. If you are super by the book, engaging with the Pisces may frustrate you because they may wake up one day and be like, nah, it just doesn't feel right today, and they won't have a reason for it. It just doesn't feel right, and that's that. And you kind of gotta go with the flow of Pisces' own internal waters, because that is what is guiding all of their decisions. So Pisces Sun is most interested in opportunities to emotionally connect with other people, to explore their spirituality, to create art out of their feelings, and to express themselves in different creative ways. These are super artsy people, and they probably have multiple creative projects going on at once, and they love to collaborate on artistic projects. So they are great in any sort of artistic field, or any sort of field that requires you to be emotionally attuned and to intuitively move forward. All right, y'all, that's all of the sun signs. That's all I've got for you today. So if you liked it, give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe. And my next video is going to be all about your moon sign. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, okay? I hope you're all having a great day wherever you are.